friends. It's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design, and welcome to my studio. As many of you know, my husband and I downsized about a year ago. We went from our great big family home to a cute little rancher with much less space. So I've been spending the last 10 months getting my tiny studio organized. I still have a few little things to tweak, but this is about how it's going to be. So I thought it would be fun as I'm celebrating my 4th blogiversary to share a little video tour. So we'll kind of start here in the center of the room, and it's a small room. It measures about 11 by 12, but it has great light. And to make the most of the space, I had this idea that my husband and my son carried out for me to build this peninsula against the back wall. And this tabletop used to be our kitchen table way back in the day. It's butcher block, it's very sturdy, and I have this set at counter height, and the legs, as you can see, are PVC pipes. There's a piece of lumber at the back that is anchored into the studs, and then the tabletop is glued, nailed actually, down into those studs, and then there's a flange that you actually get in the plumbing section at Home Depot that the PVC pipe fits into. But this is the heart of my craft room right here. This is my workstation. I work standing up, and as you can see, I have great storage beneath. Those are all my iris carts that hold all my graphic 45 paper. Then at the front are little ribbon carts, and we'll just come in closer, pan the room, and I have 2 closets. I have this gorgeous window. Underneath is my sewing station that my husband and my son built for me. This is just wood that again is screwed into lumber that's anchored into the studs on the wall. We'll start over here. So you can see this is a nice little inset window. The light is great for sewing. I like to stitch on my cards. I really don't sew on cloth, but I do like to stitch on my cards. And I have a handy basket there where I keep supplies. I found these vintage sewing drawers, I'll come in close, at a local flea market, and I use those to store all my Polly's Paper Etsy kits and goodies there. And then I am a thrifty girl. We raised 5 children on 1 income, so I learned early on to be thrifty, and even now that the kids are gone and we have a lot more disposable income, the habit has stuck. So I tend to pick up little pieces at yard sales, flea markets, and then I repurpose them, like these 2 shelving curio cabinets that hold my thread that I use. And then throughout the room, you'll see I have little inspirational pieces. Some of them are gifts from my friends, like this layout from my buddy Gloria Stengel, and they're just there to cheer me and brighten the room. Then panning to the left, this is the Closet of Shame 1, and we'll look in there in a minute. A ribbon rack that I got on super duper clearance where I keep my vintage laces and spools of ribbon. And then these wooden crates are actually what I use for my video camera setup when I'm doing a tutorial. And then this is my cutting station on this side of the table. Now this table, I'm just going to guess it measures, I don't know, maybe 5 by 5. So I picked up this dresser at a yard sale years ago for $25, and it is super sturdy. And I use these drawers. I'll try not to give you vertigo, but I want you to see. I use these drawers to store my Sizzix Bigs dies. And then up here I have thinlits and cutting plates. And then on the bottom I have various envelopes and pre-cut card bases. And then over here, these are more tools that I use for die cutting and all my embossing folders. And then this drawer holds some random flowers and feathers, things like that. And then this bottom drawer has all my Stampin' Up! Stamps. And everything is kind of organized. I'm big on alphabetical order. Extra cutting plates. These are all my Heartfelt Creations dies. This box holds large cutting plates that I don't use very often, but I like to have. And then meet Alice. My granddaughter Sophie named her Alice for Alice in Wonderland. The queen cut off her head off with her head. I picked up this guillotine, I kid you not, for $2 at a yard sale. And this is made with Chicago steel. This is the real deal. This guy will cut through anything. And I use this a lot. I keep it set up here. And then my Spellbinder Platinum, that this is the large one. And just a little lamp that I put an OT bulb in for good lighting. Lots of scissors, pencils, rulers, tools that I would use over here while I'm die cutting. So let's come around here to the front of this station. We'll just do this workstation first. This is my ribbon cart. I keep this little basket, in case you're wondering. When I'm working a project, I keep it up on the desk, and everything I use in the project goes into this basket. Because being on design teams, you have to write up supply lists. And this way, when it goes in the basket, I don't forget to list it. So this is always up here on this table when I'm working. I use a product, I throw it in the basket. These sewing drawers, aren't these cool? Our son Peter actually made these for me, and he styled them to look like vintage ones. He's such a good woodworker. And he put these nifty little partition drawers in here. I keep my paintbrushes, glue sticks, my corner shapers that I use all the time, my Crocodile, my Power Punch, adhesives, and these are the punches that I use all the time. So these live here. And then this ginormous bottle of hand sanitizer is not just because I'm a germaphobe, which I am slightly a germaphobe, but if you don't know it, hand sanitizer is the best way to clean inks and paints and mixed media stuff up off your hands and your work surface. It's cheap, it doesn't smell horrible, and it really, really works. So there you go. And then below that, these are my ribbon carts, and this is all my really reasonable ribbon. And what I've done here is I've sorted them by color. I've wound them onto pieces of cardstock held in place with a pin. So when I need a specific color ribbon for a project, there it is. I can find it easily. And then in the drawers below this is more storage. Like this drawer holds all my Heartfelt Creations flowers that I've pre-stamped and cut. Some are pre-made. So when I do a project for them, it's quick and easy. I use this drawer for current product. Like if I'm sent stuff to use for a specific month, it goes in this drawer. This drawer beneath is where I put my current Petaloo as my design team box comes in. I've finished my projects for them this month, so it's currently mostly empty. And then down here is odds and ends that I use all the time. Clear acrylic sheets, vellum, the pins for my ribbon, and I know where everything is in this drawer. And everything is labeled so that if I forget, it helps me. Then I use, well, I'll show you that later. Don't worry about that. And then this drawer down here is where I keep all my washi tape. So that's that. Under the table, you can't see it, but these carts roll out. I'll just show you very quickly. And that's where I store all the inventory for my Etsy shop. Also, seasonal papers like Halloween, Christmas. I don't use those all the time, so I don't need them out. So now we come around here. This is Workstation Central. This is where I spend most of my time. When we moved, I decided I wanted a standing up workspace. So this is it. I keep my cutting mat out all the time, my heat gun, the little tools that I use. I always keep a wet sponge handy for spills. I'm a messy crafter. It's also why I wear an apron. This is another little sewing drawer, and these weird pieces of chipboard. This is what I use instead of foam dimensionals. I just cut them, glue them on the back. These are matting pieces and card bases that are pre-cut, ready to use. I just reach in there and grab. The green wire basket has my UT, my Heartfelt Creations, flower shaping tool, and some punch boards. Xyron adhesives. This clear bin, you can find these at Target in the bathroom organization area, and they work great for holding blending tools and foams and things. There's my brown and my gathered twigs and pumice stone. I tend to edge everything with that. little sanding blocks. This is a great tip. I have a Tim Holtz sanding blocks, which I use for big projects. But you know how when you get certain packaging things, they have these little styrofoam cube thingies? I just cover these with sandpaper, and it's a really handy little sanding block, and it costs like a penny for the sandpaper. All my distress inks are in this organizer. I found this at a flea market. It had a really hideous kind of decorative top on it, and my husband pulled that off, and now I use it to store all my distress inks, which I have labeled and I have organized by color. I have a color swatch on the box so that I can quickly find it when I'm working. And my tonic paper cutter, this was something I picked up over Christmas. I got this from the Funky Junkie Boutique, and oh my goodness, best tool ever. Love, love, love it. Baby wipes, gotta have baby wipes. Underneath is where I keep embossing powders I use all the time, sponge daubers. I have a bin back in here. It's kind of dark under there, but anyway, all my ephemera bits are in there. This wire bin holds fabric. This is a Graphic 45 12 by 12 Staples box that I use to store extra goodies. And then these bins, these iris bins, hold flowers, inks, everything labeled. And then, as I said, all my Graphic 45 is in these. And I'll just show you how I do this very quickly. I'm trying to watch the time here. But I buy these, I keep them in plastic sleeves. These are pricier. I think these are Cropper Hopper. I bought these before I found the other, but the entire collection is in there. These are what I really love. These cost about $1. They're made by Darris. They're plastic. They have these handy string tie closures. And I keep all of a collection together in a bin. Stamps, chipboard, ephemera cards, everything. So that when I'm working with a project, I can pull this drawer out, set it to the side, and I have everything at my fingertips. So that's that. And very quickly, there's my computer desk. I have more iris carts, storage under there. The only time I'm really at that desk is when I'm writing a tutorial or uploading. I found this, again, super steal at the Habitat for Humanity Restore. If you have one of those near you, you should really check it out. I got this beautiful desk for $40. And then my husband built the tiers that go on top that have more organization. This is all stuff I use over here at my desk. I have batteries for my camera stored here, more ephemera bits, these little 7 Gypsies library cards, my clock so I don't forget to fix dinner, my bulletin board. These little circular tins are the remains of a floral bouquet that my husband gave me for our anniversary. And then for inspiration, some floating shelves up above with projects and goodies and things to look at when you're trying to figure out what to make. Ottlight, I have an Etsy shop, so that's my scale for postage. My planner, this is my favorite planner. It's very plain, but it works for me. I like the layout. And you can get this super cheap on Amazon. I like that it has a big monthly calendar. There's my February all mapped out for me. And then you have weekly pages where I can write down day by day what I'm supposed to be working on. So here by the front door, oops, sorry about that, is a printer cabinet that my husband built me. He designed it so that my iris cart can slip underneath. And then I have my 12 by 12 plain cardstock and then my printer on top. And sneak peek, this is the door into the studio. And because it's a small room, I have to use all the space. So I love these clear plastic shoe organizers. And I've just hung them over the door. There's my work apron because I'm a messy crafter. And all my dies, all my die cutting stuff is in here. And it's all organized by theme so I can find it and by company. And then quickly panning around the room, here's my mixed media area with my corksicle in the way so you can't see anything. Sorry guys, let me move that. And I have This is one of the best kept secrets ever. You can get this from Harbor Freight. It's designed to hold nuts and bolts and, you know, like mechanical tools, but it is a fabulous craft organizer, and it's cheap because they don't know we're using it for crafting, and it's not pink, so it doesn't cost $100. I think this guy is about 20 bucks. And my best buddy, Jenny Nemchek, sent this to me as a little cheer me up gift after I'd moved. And as you can see, it is loaded with mixed media supplies, so I love this. And then I'll show you this station real quickly. There's just a little bag that has all my different pens for when I feel like doing fancy writing. I have some sprays back behind there. This is an area I'm still working on, but I haven't figured out yet. More mixed media supplies, texture paste. These are designed to organize spices, and I keep supplies in here, and I kind of do it seasonally. So right now I'm working on Easter, because when you're on a design team you're always working ahead. So I have seasonal stuff for Easter projects there. Paints from Deco Art in here, and then more paints and stuff here. And then right here is my ribbon and button station. This is one of my happy spots in the room. I adore buttons. I've loved them ever since I was a little girl. A lot of these buttons are from my grandmother's button box, passed down to my mom, then passed down to me. Some I've picked up at flea markets, some I've just bought from the craft store, but I have them all done by color. And I do this, and these are jars. These are just jars that food and stuff came in that I wash out and repurpose. But sorting them by color means that, again, I can find what I need quickly, and I tend to use them more because they're out where I can see them. This itty bitty colander is from World Market. I think it's $2, and I have my burlap string and baker's twine wrapped on old vintage style clothespins here. And then this is my Zutter Bow It All, and I owe it all to Bow It All. This I got from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I love this. I use it every day. Some of the best money I've ever spent. Highly recommend it. And then above this, and I'm going to have to stop and do part 2 because I'm watching the time. This is a CD rack that I picked up at a yard sale for $2, and it is perfect storage for my wood stamps. And I love this guy. And use wall space. That's a real clue when you have a small room. And then in this corner, this is Recollections Tower. I had a super, it was on sale 50% off, and I had to get an extra 20% off. And all these bins are labeled. We'll look at this more closely. And then a printer's tray that I picked up at a yard sale. And that holds all my alcohol inks and re-inkers. And then for inspiration, my giant Create sign that I made for Graphic 45. So that's kind of a quick perimeter tour. I'm going to do a second video and show you storage tips. Thanks for joining me. Look for part 2, and I'll see you on the other side.